It's full-time Devils. It's time for another preview. We're feeling really festive today, so I've got the Christmas jumper on and no one else has. I thought we'd have some tinsel up or something.
We've got a tree over
a
there.
hairy chest.
There you are. Mac has got his hairy chest out. That'll do.
The most festive thing we've done is get Noel on the preview. That was good.
Very witty.
But it is the AZ ALKMAAR preview. Noel's with us. Adam McCall is here. J Mott is here too. My name's Gaz. Let's get stuck into it, guys. If we avoid defeat in this one, we top the group and we avoid those third-place Champions League groups.
Top of the league.
Teams. How important is that?
I don't know.
Mate, you want to avoid them Champions League
You say
teams.
that, though. You avoid the Champions League teams, but it's a bit pot luck in it, because sometimes you get a Champions League team that doesn't take the Europa that seriously, because they've got other things that they're more focused on. Obviously not the Champions League, but they're going for the league titles in their countries or whatever. So it can be a bit of a double-edged sword. You might end up with a Champions League team that's like fighting for the title, so they're not really bothered about Europa, whereas someone who's focused on the Europa, like Seville even, used to go for it, didn't they? They always put their strongest... They won it 3 years on the trot. And we've had a bit of a mixed bag with this. I remember, like, under Jose, we had a fairly easy run, didn't we? Until the final.
But played crap the whole way through.
So lucky against Celta Vigo. Last minute and all that. Rostov as well was a last minute winner. And then we had, was it under Fergie with Bill Balnots out, and under, was it Manal with the Scousers? So I don't look too much into it. I think it's more a matter of pride, because you just don't really know in the Europa. It's not like the Champions League. It's a bit different, obviously. So I'm not too concerned if we didn't finish top. I'd be more concerned about the fact we've lost at home, because that's what it's going to mean. If we don't finish top, we've obviously lost to ALKMAAR at home, which no matter what side Ollie puts out, I know we're going to get to the starting 11 later, I think we should have enough players, enough quality in the squad to beat the likes of ALKMAAR, who, no disrespect to them, they're not the greatest Dutch side, are they?
Noel, how important do you think it is that we finish top of this group? Because we did, of course, draw to ALKMAAR over there, and to be honest, didn't play any better than them.
Yeah, no, I do. I think it's very important for me. I think we do have to get top of the group, because I'd be very worried with the Champions League teams coming down. I do agree with Jay to an extent, but at the same time, we haven't played our best against these teams that we should be comfortably beating. And realistically, if those teams drop down and we're playing them, it is going to be very tough for us. I think we really need to do well in Europa, because I don't know if we're going to get top 4 or not. And yeah, it's worrying, very worrying. So I think it's very important today.
It is a good point, Noel, about top 4. It's like, it's looking very unlikely, even with the good run of form, that we are going to keep it up and smash into the top 4. Adam, come on, man. You were saying not long ago top 4's gone. I remember you saying it on the preview.
Don't get sucked in.
So, surely Europa League, we need to throw everything at this now. Finishing top of the group is important, and this is a very winnable competition.
I'm just looking at the Champions League groups. Now, obviously, as it stands, none of them are finished, but you could potentially get someone like a Valencia if Chelsea go through, a Lyon or a Zenit, Dortmund or Inter, Salzburg or Napoli,
Inter, no, please,
and a Leverkusen or Atletico Madrid. So you could potentially get a very good team. But as we've seen with this Manchester United side, we do seem to find something against those teams that have a little bit more about them going forward. Maybe don't show us as much respect as the lesser teams. Maybe teams that come out and think this Manchester United side isn't what they used to be, which is right. This Manchester United side can be got at. They try and get us, plays into our hands, and we attack them. What I worry about, what is interesting for the future and how Ollie tries to navigate his way around it, is when these bigger teams, the next time we play Spurs, Jose Mourinho, he's not going to attack us first. He's going to defend first and then think about how they can break us down. And it'll be interesting to see how these managers adapt their game to the way Man United have been playing, and then how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer adapts his game, because that is a key thing as well. We've seen that when we can play this style of football, we look very good. We saw it in a spell last season as well. Can we develop a different style, maybe when there's 2 banks of 4, 2 banks of 5, whatever, and we need to break teams down? Or is it just the style isn't the problem, it's the players in certain positions? As for this game, though, against ALKMAAR, topping the group is important. The last game against them, they were the better team. And getting a point in this one should see us over the line. So I'm kind of don't know what to expect team selection-wise. Is he going to look to just see things out, get a point or get a win and keep that momentum going, because we have seen that, you know, one bad result usually leads to another one with us. And it's the same with a good result. We're in spits and spurts. So the team selection will be interesting as well.
You know how well we've played recently, and you compare that to how we played in the Europa League this season. And a lot of people say that the reason we play so well against the bigger teams, it's tactics. You know, we sit back and we hit them on the counter. Do you worry that it might just be the mentality of certain players, where they're really up to play these big games with the Europa League? They're just like, not arsed.
I don't think the players are not asked. I mean, you look at the last game, for example, you had a lot of youngsters that had a point to prove. So that a lot of them, it was the debut, they were hungry for it. And I thought they played pretty well, and I thought they were a bit unlucky to not get anything out of the game.
It wasn't for a lack of effort, was it?
Exactly. You look at some of the other games as well. I think it was the first game, was it against Astana at home, where people were going, oh, we scraped to win or whatever. We were all over him for a lot of the game. And it wasn't like lack of effort. Marcus Rashford should and could have had a hat-trick. So I don't think there's necessarily, I'd never buy into this thing of like players can't be bothered or they're not asked. I think whenever they go out, they're trying, and you've got to remember in the Europa, a lot of the players that are playing are fringe players as well. So they've got a point to prove. This could be their chance to show Ollie that they can step up and that they're not just good for the Europa. They can use them in the Premier League or whatever. It might be, like I said earlier, some youngsters who want to show it as well. So I don't know. I think a lot of it is to do with some of the teams, when we're playing the likes of Astana or ALKMAAR or whoever, that's a big game. Even though United aren't the United of old, it's still Manchester United. It's still, for all of these players, one of the biggest games they're going to play in. So they're going to be massively up for it. The manager's going to, have done his own work as well, and they're going to set up to try and stifle us. So I think that plays into it a little bit. So I don't really think it's effort or desire or anything like that. I think sometimes it's just tactics and the players that he's picking.
Noel, do you think it's tactics, or maybe there's a bit of a lack of effort against certain teams from United players?
Yeah, no, I don't know if it's, well, tactically, yeah, a little bit, probably more so than players. But I just think it's not lack of effort from players. It's just they're not doing what they can do. It's not slating them. I just think like putting away opportunities like Rashford. He's been on great form recently, absolutely brilliant. But think of all the chances he has missed. Other players missing things like Pereira as well. You just need that little bit extra from them, a little bit more. But I wouldn't say they're not putting in the effort. They are, you can see it. They just need to be more clinical and they need to just get stuff done. That's what they need to do.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame Pereira for that. I would never say he puts in a lack of effort. I just don't think he's very good.
That's like, we say lack of effort, this, that and the other. I've not seen a game this season where we had a lack of effort.
Yeah.
It's like Pereira, like he actually puts a lot of effort into his game. He actually presses a lot. He is actually very aggressive with his game, but his decision making is very poor at times, and his final ball at times can be poor. And I think it's like what I said in the first part of this show, like, is it tactics or is it those players in those positions? And also consistency is a mentality. I don't think Ronaldo and Messi are just the best because of their how good they are. It's also their mentality. They wake up and they're the best every single day.
Yeah.
And we're starting to see with Marcus Rashford the penny drop, I think. Remember I said 06-07 Ronaldo Rooney season. Rashford's doing that at the moment. The penny has dropped, and there's some glimmers that it has dropped with Martial. If we can get that through the pitch as well. And also, look at it. We've had a lot of injuries to that midfield. And look at some of the games. Southampton, that was down to tactics and changing the game sooner. We were playing a 10-man Southampton side. Wolves, we missed the penalty. Sheffield United and Villa, that was down to game management and tactics. So we've dropped a lot of points this season where we could have had the control. And I don't think it was down to lack of wanting it or lack of effort. It was just down to whether the manager got his game management right or his substitutions, or whether we've had the players to actually get the job done. I think there's been so many different issues at the club at the moment that it's hard to just say, oh, these lads ain't trying or they're not fighting for the badge. Andreas Pereira wants to be a Manchester United player. He just might not be good enough.
He's booking now at the Etihad.
Oh, that was genius. Absolutely genius. His best performance in the United shirt.
Yes.
I absolutely love it. And also, before anyone gets in the comments, I'm playing devil's advocate with that question a little bit, just finding out what everyone's opinion is. I don't think the United players have a lack of effort. Maybe one or two of them. Right, there was once a time...
Dude, come on.
No.
Name him, shame him, guys. Come on.
Luke Shaw.
Luke Shaw.
Luke Shaw. Why is he not regularly playing in the team at his age? Don't say it's injury. It took him so long to get fit, and it does it every single time.
Is it effort with Luke Shaw, or is he just not good enough?
Yeah, maybe he's just not good enough.
Sometimes, like, his positional sense is terrible, I think, and I don't think that's necessarily effort. I just think he doesn't read the game as well as he should.
Maybe sometimes when he's walking about, when he's walking back across the pitch, I think maybe you could put that down to effort.
Different gravy, you know. If everyone had that mentality.
Mate.
Did you hear what Raheem Sterling said to Marcus Rashford recently? I don't know where I saw it, but apparently in the last international break, Raheem Sterling said to Marcus Rashford, if I had your shot, I wouldn't be passing. And, you know, since that international break, Rashford has really progressed and he's been absolutely brilliant. So, you know, maybe when Adam was saying the penny has dropped, maybe that was kind of part of it.
Are you crediting Raheem Sterling? Are you crediting Raheem Sterling with Marcus Rashford's great form? Because I'm not having this.
Raheem Sterling is a Man United fan.
Raheem Sterling won United the derby. That's what you're saying, Noel.
Yeah, I am, and he's a United fan. So there you go. He's never scored against us either, has he? Well, for City.
Well, I think Sterling said he saw something different in him as well, like a mentality shift. I think physically he's developing and he's growing and he's got stronger, and you're starting like the geezers, different beans.
It makes sense actually.
Beans. Because
you remember when City were 2-0 up against us and he could have won the league, and Raheem Sterling missed about 5 sitters.
Yes.
I think you're onto something there. I didn't think of this.
Can we make Raheem Sterling the first player to play for Liverpool, City and United? That would be the maddest thing ever, wouldn't it?
Has no one ever done that before?
Can't mention Raheem Sterling with this week without talking about his birthday party antics, guys.
I don't know what you're talking about, mate. He just seems like a lad enjoying himself.
Hey, can we hire out John Stones for parties?
My favourite thing about that bit, right, is the way that his missus comes over, pushes the other girl out the way, and then I'm like, oh, it's going to kick off. Then she starts fucking whining on him too. I'm like, what is happening?
It's only a wine, guys. He weren't cheating. Jesus Christ.
Class. Right, Jay, there was once a time where momentum would have taken us through this game. We wouldn't have even had to think about tactics or anything. We've just beaten Spurs. We've just beaten City. AZ ALKMAAR on a Thursday night at Old Trafford. Easy. Bit different this time, though, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, we have this sort of thing, don't we? We get a little bit of momentum, you know, we get a good result and then we sort of come back down to earth. I don't think losing to ALKMAAR sort of undoes all the good work we've had from the wins against Spurs and Manchester City. I don't think you're going to be like, oh my God. I know there will be people that are like Ollie out if he even draws against ALKMAAR, because that's the nature of the beast and that's the nature of the agenda against him from some people. But it would be nice to get 3 wins on the trot. And you know, in games like this, I mean, you know, without to get all sort of schmaltzy and melodramatic, it's a sort of game where you do see a lot of kids in the stands. I think my missus taking me eldest. It'd be good for them to see a good win and a result rather than just watching our reserves get dicked
Jay
off.
just don't want to deal with crying kids all night.
This is it, mate. I literally had tears after we got knocked out of Derby County. Seriously. Why? My missus took me eldest and I met him on the forecourt. And I was like, what's wrong with why is she crying? And she's like, she's crying because we lost. And I'd actually forgot we'd lost. I was already like, yeah, you know, who gives a shit?
That's devastating.
Although she did see us win against Rochdale on penalties, so, you know, swings and roundabouts.
No, she's like running around the house after that.
Jay, when you have these crying kids, you would bring them to me and stick them in front of a camera, for God's sake. Think of the views.
Think of the views.
Don't worry. If we do get beat, I'll bring it to you. Mate. Make sure you get on the Fancam.
Don't bring crying kids to me. I don't want to deal with them.
Fun enough dealing with them when you're your own. Yeah, so I don't think it's a massive thing about momentum. It would just be good to have a performance in front of the fans. And, you know, come on. We should have a team that can beat AZ ALKMAAR. We can find amongst our squad. You look at some of our fringe players, our younger players, they're decent, they're good players. The likes of Garner, Levitt. We're going to get into the 11 a little bit later on. But we've got enough quality in our squad. We've got enough experience and young players who are good enough to beat ALKMAAR. So yes, it would be great for momentum, but we shouldn't be clutching at straws and struggling to find a way to beat a team like this. This should be a given, really, for Manchester United, regardless of how poor we're playing.
Noel, do you think we need to start a relatively strong team in this one, or do you think we could get away with just playing the youngsters to get the win against ALKMAAR, having the Spurs and City performance behind them?
I do think he will start a relatively stronger team than last time. I think the younger lads, they are brilliant and they even did really well the last time. But I just think to get the job done, he will probably go with the more experienced guys. And I just want to win because on Thursday it's my birthday. So what better way to celebrate than have a little birthday win? So I'm hoping we get it.
Sorry, I was just completely zoned out then. Nick was saying something about my mic.
So you weren't even listening to what Noel was saying? Noel just said it's a birthday today.
Oh, is it? Happy birthday.
No. I meant Thursday.
Oh, well, happy birthday for Thursday. That's going to be ruined when Man United lose.
I could see hands on the screen. I was like, what's going on there?
Well, happy birthday for Thursday, Noel. Everyone go and send Noel happy birthday messages on her Instagram, please. Adam, what do you think about this one? Do we need to start strong? Do we need to play quite a strong team? Maybe even similar team to the one that beat City?
Yeah, it was weird when I was doing my predicted 11. Is this the part where we do them?
We're doing, yeah.
No, we're doing that after. I'm just asking whether you think we need to go strong in this.
Yeah, I was doing an 11 earlier, and it was quite hard to do because you're always second. You're guessing yourself, like, if you pick De Gea, will he not start? Will he be given a rest? Same with Wan-Bissaka. Same with Maguire. So it kind of makes sense for us to play a reasonably strong side. But I still think there's room to give one or two players a rest. But then it's difficult. Marcus Rashford, if you say to him, you want a rest, he's going to say, fuck off. You know what I mean? He's going to say, I got 14 goals in 14 games. Like, what are you talking about, rest? But I think the benefits outweigh, like, do we need to play him on Thursday night when we've got a difficult game against Everton, which is a completely different game now because they're managed by an absolute nutcase. So it's hard. I think we go for a mixture. There is room where I want to see Axel Tuanzebe, for example. He has to come in. It doesn't weaken the team by bringing him in. And I think there has been times this season where Ollie has done fantastically with the youth. And I think it's important to bear in mind what he said about Mason Greenwood earlier in the season. He said, even though he had scored a goal or two for the first team, his performances in training had dipped. And we don't get to see that. And we've got to understand that these younger players will have peaks and troughs in their early years. It's how they get through them. But all being well, Tuanzebe, Greenwood, potentially Garner and Levitt, I think they should be starting with a stronger nucleus around them because it'll be enough to get a result. And we do need to rest some players with the Christmas fixtures coming up.
Noel, if Ollie does get beat in this one, do you think it sort of undoes a little bit from the last two games, or do you think the fans will just, accept a loss against ALKMAAR, but we've got the victory against Spurs and City, it don't really matter?
Yeah, I think thankfully we did get the wins recently, so the fans are on a high. They're all delighted. Everyone's happy. I think coming into this, obviously everyone would love a win, but I don't think they're gonna turn against them or anything like that. I don't think it is important for me, but for everyone else, I'm not sure. I just think it's not going to be the end of the world, but I want to win.
Clearly not seeing the replies to the clip of the preview we posted last week. Do you remember that? Last week, we posted a clip from the preview. What were we saying? I think it was Howson talking about Lingard.
Lingard said, I think we all talking about Lingard saying he should start, and people were just going berserk. People saying, how can Lingard start against City? He's rubbish. You lot have got an agenda. You love him because he's a local lad.
Ran more than any other player on the pitch, and for me was one of our best players. Now, I'm not saying that he's a great player and he should be starting every week for Man United, but if you can't see how he's important tactically in a game like that, then you've just got an agenda against him, innit? People say we've got an agenda for him. We just want the best for Man United. I don't give a fuck who's playing.
Either way, they either go too far and they commit too much to just absolutely hating someone.
Yeah.
And then they look like idiots if they have to say, he had a good game today, because then people will say you were calling him Trashford or whatever, or like it's mental. The stuff you see written about some of these players online is. Or said on things like FullTimeDEVILS or other platforms is nuts, because like this, especially Rashford and that. I'm not going to say Lingard's a young player because he's not, and that joke about him being a young player is boring.
Wait till his birthday this week, innit? Wait till that starts.
Honestly, any person who
got a good video coming out for his birthday
about Lingard being a young player on his birthday, if you think that joke's funny, it's just not. Honestly, just delete your account. Seriously.
The first time I heard it, I went,
Yeah.
That's it.
It's so obvious.
And then every time since, it's just been.
Right, let's move on then. Let's get back to the game, the ALKMAAR game.
Are we back in the title race, by the way? I know it's Europa League day, but...
Are we back in the title race? Absolutely, of course we are. Too right.
Sorry, I missed all the giddiness on the podcast. I just wanted to...
Yeah, there was lots of giddiness there, mate. It's proper gone to our heads.
Okay, predicted 11.
Let Maka go first, because I'm thinking he's going to do... No, because he...
Let Noel go
all right,
first.
Yeah, but let Maka go before me, because I think he's going to do the same team as me. Yeah, Noel can go first.
Nothing to do with ladies first, right? Nothing to do with this fake chivalrous nonsense. Noel goes first, because the last time she was on a preview, she got 11 out of 11.
The Norwich preview she did, didn't she?
Massive. So, Noel, go on.
Absolute scenes.
The word Ollie is in her first name, though, if you look closely, so...
There you go.
Mate.
That's a very, very good point.
Nolly.
That's a very good point. All right, Noel, give us your 11. Who's going to play versus ALKMAAR?
Okay, first of all, I'm definitely not getting 11 out of 11 today. It's not happening. I'm so confused. So I'm just going to wing it with this one. I'm going to go 4-2-3-1. So Romero, Brandon Williams, Twanzebe, Maguire, and Wan-Bissaka. I do feel he's going to put Phil Jones in, but in the middle, McTominay and Fred. Then I think Gomez might get a shot, Mata, Greenwood, and then Rashford up top, just because he's in such flying form. As we were talking about earlier, I think if he was to take him off, Rashford would be a bit annoyed. So I feel Rashford might start and get a few goals.
You know what, Noel? I'm not saying it's a bad prediction or anything, but there's no way it's going to be 11 out of 11 this week, is it, for anyone?
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
You never know. Do you remember when, it reminds me like, do you remember when Ronaldo got brought off against, was it Blackpool on last day of the season? And he was going berserk, like, because he wanted to be top scorer. And it's like, Fergie brought him off because he's like obviously got the Champions League final back when we used to be in Champions League finals. So there might be an element of that with Rashford. It's like, I want to play every game because I can bang in.
Yeah, well, it's right though, isn't it? And that's the right attitude. It's the right attitude. It's like when strikers are in on goal and there's another striker running alongside him and they pass it to pass around the goalie. Sod that. Shoot, mate. You're the striker. You should want the goal. Right, Adam, what are you thinking, mate? What's your 11?
Romero in goal.
Just typing it up.
Romero in goal. Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah.
Twanzebe, Lindelof, Williams. Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Garner-Levitt. Greenwood, Gomez, Lingard, Martial.
Ooh,
Martial.
It's very different.
Interesting. What are you thinking, Jack?
4-2-3-1.
4-2-3-1. Yeah, I like that.
Give Rashford a rest. If he moans, just shut up.
But yeah, it's right though. Game management with Marcus Rashford, it's totally right. Because like, we talk about these young players being up and down. He's a fucking young player, and we all forget it.
Yeah, he's just turned 22, hasn't he? So he's still relatively young. It's just because he's been around for a few seasons that people think he's like 38 or whatever. But yeah, I think I would like to see Marcus rested. Just because I think it's not that, you know, we've got a game on Sunday against Everton. When, you know, it's not like he's got to wait ages till he gets another chance to score another goal. So, and we need him firing on all cylinders for that one because, like Macca said, Duncan Ferguson in the dugout. Different prospects in it than Marco Silva.
What?
Yeah, what's all that about, mate? Like,
I think intense is the word, isn't it?
That sweatband stinks.
Those
stinks. 100% smells.
Those Everton players though are absolutely bricking it. They don't do a good performance because they know they're getting their heads smashed in at half time if Duncan Ferguson's waiting through. It's like, okay, Gaffer, yeah, I'm going to give you 10 out of 10 today. Don't worry.
Big Dunk, if you're watching this, I didn't say you smell.
I love Duncan Ferguson. Marcus said that. Yeah, take it up with him.
Careful with that one, mate.
Oh, yeah. Do you want my team?
Go on, mate.
Romero, Young, Axel, Rojo, Williams, Garner-Levitt, Matza, Gomez, Chong, Mason Greenwood.
I'm sorry, I'm just wondering how far Duncan Ferguson could throw Adam McCullough.
Be like a javelin, wouldn't it? Like,
he'd be like a javelin him, wouldn't he?
Drag him out of the strap for them and throw him into the K-stand.
But interesting teams.
Dirty. Get through it somehow.
Yeah.
Interesting teams all round. I don't think anyone's going to get 11 out of 11 this week, but it's going to be interesting whatever the team is. I do think it's going to be quite strong though. Right, opposition. What does everyone know about the mighty AZ ALKMAAR? The last time we played them, they were challenging for the top of the Eredivisie. Ooh, pronounced it right first time. That was good, wasn't it? Go on.
That when you say AZ,
it's AZ.
You don't have to say ALKMAAR because the A in AZ stands for ALKMAAR.
Ah,
there you go. See? There you go.
So it's not AZ ALKMAAR, it's just either ALKMAAR or AZ.
Yeah,
right,
AZ.
One or the other.
So anyway, what does everyone know about AZ ALKMAAR? Noel, let's start with you. No, Jay, let's start with you, mate. Tell us what you know about him.
I've made some notes here.
All right, okay. A bit of research.
Louis van Gaal used to manage him, if you remember.
Well done.
As did Ronald Koeman. No, this team though, I remember Ron. Oh, well, I don't remember. I know Ron Vlaar plays for him. Don't know who we were linked with a few years ago. Do you remember him from Villa?
The man whose name is a noise.
Yeah. Myron Baudu, he's 18, scores goals. Got the same birthday as me.
Analysis. You will not
this
get
is
that
cutting edge, insightful
anywhere.
analysis. His birthday's the 14th of January, same as mine. Well, I'm a little bit older. And that's it. That's all I've got. And the Dutch.
That's it.
You went there. You tell me what it's like.
Adam, what have you got?
Mate, they haven't lost a game since October when they lost against Heerenveen 4-2 at home. They haven't lost a game since then. Their last game out, they won 3-0 at the weekend against Zwolle. So they had a nice, comfortable run out.
I've been to that train station.
They're doing well in the league. Who's that fella that was pretty good for them? Usama Idrissi.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I think it's pretty evident.
Problem. Tactically, they're very good.
I think it's pretty evident the way Noel's like correcting you. Let's go to Noel. I think
Noel's
she might know a little bit
she's
more.
gonna have the real knowledge here. Me and Mac.
Fuck you, Gaz. ALKMAAR actually very good. Yeah. They tactically, they nullified us at their place. We were rubbish.
We were rubbish at their place, like utterly crap.
Scored 11 on aggregate against Astana, didn't they?
They averaged 3 a game. We averaged 1 a game in the Europa League. Bear in mind they scored 0 against us, so that's 16 goals in 4 games.
Yeah, they battered ALKMAAR, Astana, away.
11 of them. Yeah, we lost against them though. No,
no comment. Noel, go on. What can you tell us about the Dutch side?
Yeah, no, I can't tell you much. I only learned how to spell their name today. I didn't know there was 2 A's at the end. But no, they bet Astana 5-0. They do score goals. Obviously, they didn't score against us. Your man Badu, who Jay was talking about, however you say his name, I think he's their top scorer 4 in the Europa League so far. So yeah, one to watch. But yeah, that's all I really know about them, to be honest.
There's an interesting thing here is, though, that they're 3 points behind Ajax. Ajax lost at the weekend, yeah. And ALKMAAR 3 points behind them, and they play them this weekend. Ooh. So, with that being said, and them already through in the Europa League, how do they approach this one? Like, you got 2-3 days till you got a game where you could potentially go level at the top of the league. And you've got Old Trafford. A lot of their players are going to want to play at Old Trafford. It's either try go to Old Trafford, get a win, take that momentum into Ajax, or rest everybody, take the L at United and try and go for it. So it'd be interesting to see what their manager does if he rests a few heads. Because did you say Ron Vlaar plays for them? He's already played at Old Trafford. Like, why does he need to come? Do you know what I mean?
He might not be that fussed, but the others might be.
Yeah.
But it'd be just so typical United. We beat Spurs, we beat City, and then we lose to a reserve ALKMAAR team.
Hey, we're not winning this game.
You're not having that one.
Really is roller coaster FC at the minute, isn't it? It's just up and down constantly. But Jay, what's your score prediction for this one?
I'm gonna go 3-0 United.
I'm gonna go 2. No, I'm not. I'm gonna go 1-0 United. Bit of a rubbish game, I think. Noel, what do you reckon?
I'm gonna go 2-0 to United.
2-0. Bit more confidence.
Confidence,
Adam,
man.
you think we're gonna draw, right?
1-1. We'll top the group 1-1. Then we'll beat Everton on Sunday.
Take that.
Yeah, you fully take that. Yeah, fully take that.
100%.
Guys, that has been the AZ preview. Get in the comments below. Tell us what you know about the Dutch side, because evidently we don't know that much. We'll be back with the Everton preview later on in the week. I've been there and I still don't know that much. But yeah, we'll be back very, very soon with the Everton preview. Get in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to these guys.
Don't forget to wish Noel a happy birthday on Thursday as well.
And yeah, make sure you send Noel loads of happy birthday messages on her Instagram. And we'll see you next time, guys.
Louis van Gaal,
Thank you.